Hello friends, how are you? Fine. Alright, so we start with the text today after the introduction, and that is, as you can see, as it is our practice, first we will go through all the expressions and words that we have to study, and then we will get into the text, okay? And question answers those. So a flawless half moon, you know. This half moon means say halfway through the full moon. Halfway through the full moon is half moon, yes. And then flawless, spotless, no spot, very clear. So the morning of their departure, they saw, when they looked up, they saw clear blue sky, and they're floating. The description is like this, that it is, according to the author, it looks like a sea, the blue sea, the blue waters in the sea. And he thought that, or he felt in his imagination, poetic language, in his imagination, he felt that the moon is floating. You have seen floating now. Things floating on water. So he thought that it's like that. That's his imagination, floating. Flawless, perfect, no, not even a speck. Then floated in a perfect blue sky. That's what I said. Perfect blue sky. Clean, clear sky. Floating. Extended banks of clouds. Banks means mass of clouds. Mass of clouds they could see. Like long French loaves glowed pink. French loaves means loaves of French bread. That's all. Like we have Indian bread. So this is French bread. That's all. So extended banks, mass of clouds. Like long French loaves glowed pink. Glowed. Like stars. Stars emit like glow. You know, you have seen glowworm, like that. And the color is pink here. It is emitting pink color. From where? From the clouds. The sun emerged, came out. The sun emerged, came out. Splashed the distant mountain tops with rose-tinted blush. So beautiful. So beautiful, isn't it? Splashed. Splash means it is an onomatopoeic word. Onomatopoeic word. Onomatopoeic word means sound and the meaning is the same. Or the sound reflects the meaning. The sound reflects the meaning. It is a wind. Cuckoo. So that is onomatopoeic words. Understand the onomatopoeic words. So here is splash. Splash means when you throw a stone into a pond, you hear a sound now, boom, that is splash. But here it is not like the splash, spread like this. Just throw over it, that is splashing. Splash the distant mountain tops with rose-tinted blush. Rose-tinted means color, you can see. The mountain tops looked as if somebody painted it with rose color. Rose tinted. Why? Because the morning sun, the rays of the morning sun. Shakespeare says in Hamlet, the morning russet mantle clad walks over yon eastern hill. That's what it said. Russet mantle clad. So that's the same thing. Ducking back means, duck back means to get back, but with bends like this. This is ducking back. And then clambered into his car. With difficulty he climbed. Clamber like this. This clambering. Assure means, assure, I assure you means, I am certain that you will happen. Certainty. To say something that, to say that something will surely happen. Assure. Likelihood, possibility. Get there, reach there. Gently rolling hills. Hills don't roll. But you find one hill top, then next one, a valley, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So that is rolling, gently rolling hills, isn't it? Gazelles. Gazelles means Not ghazal. Ghazal means a kind of song now, you can see. Isn't it? You have seen Pankaj Uddas ghazals, but this is deer, animals, ghazals. And then nibbling means eating, bit by bit, nibbling. A frown means doing like this is frowning. It's a wrinkling your forehead, wrinkling your forehead. That show displeasure, dislike. And that's body language. Bounding away, galloping away. Pall of dust. Pall means a mass of dust. Pall. So we say a pall of gloom, a pall of darkness. It means a mass, this a cloud of darkness. En masse, the whole, the entire group, en masse. Maneuvers, skilled movements, maneuvers. When you see snakes, you will think that they are making maneuvers. It's skilled movement. Actually, it is their instinct. But predestined means fixed early. It said that our future is predestined. We are all predestined people. Plumes of dust, same. So that plumes. Sorry. Excuse me. Yes, plumes of dust. That means a mass of dust. Plumes coming up like this. And then you have got a bellowed into. Bellowed into means bellow. Means rushed into. Bellowed into. It's a clear, crisp. It's extremely clear. Very clear. Clear, crisp. Crisp. You have got a biscuit, crispy. And the crispy biscuit is so crisp air means what? Means it's very clear. Very clear and very pure, crisp air. Evasive means avoiding. Evasive, avoiding. Veering away, moving away. So once again we'll go through this, and if you master these things, it becomes very easy for you to go through the passage. So flawless half moon. In December, you can see flawless moon or flawless half moon, halfway through the full moon. Floated in a perfect blue sky. Sometimes you feel that the moon is floating in a perfect blue sky. Extended banks of clouds. Very often you find in July, extended, spread mass of clouds. July, the month of July, we just had 3 days ago floods here. So the extended mass of clouds. Like long French gloves glowed pink. The color of the French gloves pink. Pink bread there. We have got white bread, so like that. Pink bread. The sun emerged. The sun emerged and came out. The lion emerged from its den. Emerged means came out. Splashed the distant mountain tops with a rose-tinted blush. Blush means, the bride, when on the day of marriage, when you are taking your, your bride to church or temple, they blush. That is, they express some kind of a feeling of, what you must say, fear. Blush means that a little bit of fear, but a bit of what is called inhibition and all those things. That is blush. Again, blushing bride. Brides usually blush. My description will create more problems than if I give you an example. Blushing bride says. Then ducking back. Very often, when we try to hit a person, he will duck back and move back like this. Bend and then move back. Clambered into. Sometimes what happens is very expensive cars, but we have to clamber into it. You cannot get into it. For example, I tell you, if you have ever traveled by, say, very expensive cars are very difficult to get in, at least for me. The easiest and the best car for me is Sandro. Understand? Sandro is a very good car. Because there you can sit as if you are sitting in a chair. On the other hand, you are clambering and then lie down. And when you get up, you need the help of 2 persons. Okay, I assure you that you will get a first class. Likelihood, there is a likelihood of rain in the evening. Get there. When you get When you get home, you should remember me. Okay, gently rolling hills. You will find gently rolling hills in the Western Ghats. If you go to Western Ghats, you will find gently rolling hills. Then gazelles. In Thackeray, you can see gazelles. Gazelles nibbling grass. Frown. When you go near them, they will frown upon you, show their displeasure. Bounding away, and they will bound away. And pall of dust. Very often you find in summer, pall of dust everywhere. En masse. People went to the railway station, came out of the railway station en masse. Means all the people. Maneuvers. You have the army makes maneuvers to attack the enemy. Maneuvers, skilled movements, predestined. Some people believe that our life is predestined. Means the way that we are, where we are born, how we grow, how we develop, what job we get extra is fixed forever. That's what they say. And then our others say Jatak. Yes. And then you have got plumes of dust. So very often you will find plumes of dust rising from behind hills. Yes. Large quantities. Bellowed into. Sometimes bellow into means, sometimes the cry of children bellow into your ears. Means get in a rush like this. No? Bellow. And clear, crisp. On a clear, crisp day or on a clear, crisp night also. So it's a moonlit night. It is very beautiful. It's very romantic to go outside and sit under a tree and then talk with your friends. And then you have got below clear, crisp, evasive. Evasive means avoiding. Some people make evasive movements. Or if you have got an enemy, he will make an evasive movement when he sees you. And veering away, same thing. Enemies, if you have got an enemy, he will veer away when he sees you. Or when you are, suppose about to, your enemy is coming towards you and you are moving towards him, then he will veer away. Understand? He will go away. Okay, that is very clear, I suppose. So in this chapter, what we are going to, so in this passage, what are we going to see? We are going to see the poetic description of a beautiful morning. We can see that. Lama's farewell present, a long-sleeved sheepskin. Lama, a woman, she gave the narrator. Narrator is Nick Middleton. We have already seen this thing. Sheepskin, because Kailash, they are moving from Rao to Kailash and it's going to be very cold. And so she said there should be warm clothing. And she gave. Satan and Daniel accompanied him. Satan was the driver and Daniel also, he took him with him. He took Daniel with him. Takes a direct shortcut to Mount Kailash. Satan told Nick Middleton that there is a shortcut. You need not go all the way. Don't take the long cut, but just take the shortcut, he said. And then a few gazelles they saw. What are the things that they saw? They saw a few gazelles, a great herd of wild ass, then cayenne, that is cayenne and dust and so on, solitary drop bus they saw, and sheep taking evasive actions. So if you want to ask questions to this passage and then you can say, describe the morning on which they started to Kailash. That beautiful morning. So you can have examples. Who were his companion? Satan and Daniel. And then who gave him the present, as warm clothing as present? Lama gave him warm. And what was that? It was a long sleeve sheepskin coat. And afterwards you find who directed Nick Middleton to take the shortcut? Satan, because he knew the place very well. He was a Buddhist. He is a Buddhist. See that? And then he said, what are the things that they were attracted by? What are the sights with which they were attracted? Or what are the sights that they saw when they were taking the shortcut and going towards Mount Kailash for doing the Kora, isn't it? Yes. So these are the things. A few gazelles they saw, a great herd of wild ass, cayenne, solitary drug bus. Drug bus means nomadic people and sheep taking evasive action. So this is how you get into the passage, and now getting into the passage and reading the passage will be very easy for you. Alright, right? You have understood, I think. You got the idea now. So the main point is this. Here it is. Shortcut from Rao to Mount Kailash as directed by Satan. Satan is the driver. So that is what you see today. Alright. So here I'll read the passage. As I am reading the passage, once again I will explain the meaning of this verse. Then you will understand it much better, because in context you understand the meanings much better than when you are explaining these words as in isolation. Okay. A flawless half moon floated in a perfect blue sky on the morning we said our goodbyes. So we are starting from Rao to, moving from Rao to Kailash. So just morning, and the sun had not risen. So still the sky was under the power of the moon, or moon was the queen of the sky. But only you would see only half, because it is halfway through the full moon, floating. I told you, just as you find objects floating on water. So in a poetic language, and Nick Middleton says the moon was floating. Beautiful. Yes. Extended banks of clouds like long French doors, similarly glowed pink as the sun emerged to splash the distant mountain tops with rose-tinted blush. So you cannot simply explain it. If I explain it, it will get, I think, it will get spoiled. So better you understand it as such. This is so like splash of color. You have seen Holi, playing Holi. So what do they do? There's a splash of color, different colors, isn't it? Now that we were leaving Rao, Lama said she wanted to give me a farewell present. One evening, I had told her through Daniel that I was heading towards Mount Kailash to complete the Korah, and she had said that I ought to get some warmer clothes. So somehow she got that information that he was going to Mount Kailash, and it is a very cold place, and therefore he should have some warm clothing, and that is the reason why she thought of giving this long sleeve sheepskin coat to the narrator. It's a first person narration, first person, I. One evening I had told Extra, after ducking back into her tent, looking like this, after ducking back into her tent, she came out, carrying one of the long-sleeved sheepskin coats that old men wore. What is the past tense of wear? I think that is simple for it. Satan sized me up as we clambered into his car. Yes, he declared, Drogba. Drogba means nomadic people who tend their sheep. So he said, when you are wearing this long-sleeved sheepskin coat, you look like a Drogba or a nomad. Understand? Person who is wandering around, or moving from place to place, taking their herd of, means sheep with them. Satan said, yes, he declared Drogba. We took a shortcut to get off the Chang Tang. So going through Chang Tang will be a long cut. So to get off the means to omit, delete. See, we took a shortcut to get off, to move away from the Chang Tang. Satan knew a route that would take us southwest, almost directly towards Mount Kailash. So he was a person who were very familiar with that place. So he knew which is the long cut and which is the shortcut and so on. So he said, take this cut surface better so you can avoid Chang Tang, he said. And it involved crossing several fairly high mountain passes, he said. So the shortcut is not that it's a bumpy. Means there are mountain passes and small hills and so on. So you have the hillocks, you have to walk over that. So if you don't mind, that's better. But no problem, sir. He assured us. If there is no snow. But simple, you can just go through that. As you can see now. There is, when I say this, don't think that I am going beside the point. You probably these days you might be watching, when you watch the TV, you can see there is an advertisement that Polish, a Polish into which you can pour water. And then the lord of the house says, "What are you doing? What is this?" Then probably his wife says, "Simple," she says. Simple. So like that. So simple. The shortcut is very simple, provided there should be no snow. So please don't misunderstand me that I am sidestepping or some problem, creating some problem for you. I'm just saying simple. The word simple is that so. So simple is he said. And what was the likelihood of that? I asked. Any possibility? Then he said, "Not knowing, sir, until we get there. There's no way out to know whether there will be snow or not. But when you reach there, you will know." It is like saying that, will it rain? Then somebody says, "I don't know." When it comes down, we will say it is raining. When the clouds, no, that's what he says. Clouds come down, then we can say it is raining. So you say there's likelihood. No, there's no problem. Don't worry about that. It's simple. That is the thing. From the gently rolling hills, the hills don't roll, as I told you. See, for example, if you have got a thing like this, hill, see. When you look at this, then the top of the hills, there's a rolling, no, isn't it? Yeah. So from the gently rolling hills of Rao, the shortcut took us across vast open plains with nothing in them except a few gazelles that would look up from nibbling the pastures and frown before bounding away into the void. The void means in the emptiness. You cannot see that. Nature does not allow void, we said. Nature does not allow emptiness. If there is an empty place, nature will rush into that empty place to fill it. That is void means empty. So that's a beautiful sight. Last place, nothing on it except gazelles. They are nibbling grass. And when they saw, they looked at it like this and frowned, expressed displeasure and ran it. The interesting thing is that, in travelogue, when you read a good travelogue, then what happens is that you feel that you are also moving along with the person who narrates it. So it's like that. Now we are also going from Rao to Kailash, Mount Kailash. We are also going. We are also enjoying the sights. That much of you should have that imagination. So that with that you see all these things in your mind's eye. Listen, you should see these things in your mind's eye. Only then you can enjoy these things. So from gently rolling hills of Rao. Hills don't roll, as I told you. It's a but beautiful expression. Further on, where the plains became more stony than grassy, a great herd of wild ass came into the view. So first you saw deer, then you saw wild ass came into the view. Satan told us we were approaching them long before they appeared. Satan knew the place, the rocky mountains, the grassless areas, the desert-like place. So he said that even before seeing them, even before they emerged, Satan told Nick and his companion Daniel, now in few minutes you are going to see a miracle, or you are going to see a wonderful sight, and that is wild asses. A herd of wild asses you will see. Satan had told us we are approaching. Satan told us we were approaching them long before they appeared. Kayan, he said, pointing towards the far off pole of dust. So when they are moving together, then what are wild asses moving together, galloping or running, then dust will come up like this. And that is, this time my pen is with me. So dust will come. That is what is this kayang. That's called kayang, a ball of dust. That is. And then he said, when we drew near, I could see the herd galloping en masse. The group together, wheeling and turning in tight formation. Some of them moving this way, some of that way, in tight formation. As if they were producing maneuvers on some predestined course. So they were running in such a way as if they had planned it early. They are running, they had planned it early. How it is? When you see they are running away, you think that they had already planned it to run this way or that way, and it looked like skilled movements of an army. So that is it. And then said, when we drew near, it happened. And they were producing maneuvers. Plumes of dust, kayang, plumes of dust, billowed into the clean, crisp air. Billowed into, rushed into. And groups, they are running, and the dust, plumes of dust, and then mass of dust, you can say. A massive, large quantity of dust went up like this. That is blowing into the crisp air as hills started to push up. Hills pushed up means hill doesn't push up. Then we left one hill after the other. The hill started, when the hill started to push up once more from the rocky pillar. Push up here means appear. As hill started to appear again once more. We already saw gentle, what is that? Here we have got rolling hills, gently rolling hills. So another side, gently rolling hills. That is push up, come to view. Push up means come to view. Yes, push up once more from the rocky wilderness. We passed solitary drop bars tending their flocks. So when we saw again one after another as a panoramic view, and hills began to appear one after another. That is their push up. Then we saw drop bars. That is nomads looking after their sheep, and we saw them. And what is their behavior now? Sometimes men, sometimes women. These well wrapped, so they were also wearing long sleeve sheepskin coats, which Lama gave to Nick Middleton or the narrator. So they were also doing. That's why when Satan saw Nick wearing long sleeve sheepskin coat, he said, Drogbasa. Understand? Drogbasa. So like that he said, so Drogbasa the song, and wrapped in from cross and stare at our car, stare like this. Stare at our car, occasionally waving us as we pass. So the Drogbas were looking after their sheep, they were tending their sheep, and someday they would look like this, and the other they said, bye, have a nice time, they would start like that. So where the track took us close to their animals, the sheep would take evasive action, veering away from the speeding vehicle. So they are in a car. So in the speeding vehicle is speeding. So they will evasive action, means they avoid it and veering away, moving away from the vehicle. So these are very beautiful sights that you see when you move from Ravu to Kailash, and also take the shortcut. So I think that now this passage is very clear to you. Maximum questions that you can get from this is, as I told you, first the description. There you can see flawless half moon floated in a perfect blue sky on the morning we said our goodbyes. You cannot change it. Better not to change, better not to remove even one word from that sentence. The whole passage should be learned by heart. Extended banks of clouds like long flying glows, those glowed pink as the sun emerged to splash the distant mountain tops with the rose-tinted blush. Now that we were leaving Rao, Lamas said like that. So those two sentences now, first two sentences, must learn by heart. And you can use it in many places where you are. Suppose you have to describe a trip that you made to Uti. And you can describe this, you make use of this. With maybe with the slight variation. When you find the present that the Lama gave to Nick, why did she give it, and how this news reached her ears. It was through Daniel. She was such a good woman that she willingly gave a present to, donated, you can say, a present. Then you find the shortcut. You find also the different, see, as you can see, who are the companions, you can say. Then you can say that why did they take the shortcut? Another is that what are the sights? What are the things that attracted them on their way to? Then what is meant by gently rolling hills and hills pushing up? Gently rolling hills means as you are passing by one after another, it is rolling, going back. When you are going forward, you will think that other things are going by. So gently rolling hills. Then push up means, see, when you reach a particular place, maybe a valley, then you are slowly climbing, then you will see one hilltop, then another hilltop, then another hilltop. So that will be pushing up. So all so beautiful. You must read it many times to enjoy it. That's what I think that you have followed. You can answer these questions which I have already given you. So bye for the time being. We will continue. I'm sure that you are enjoying these classes. You should also share this with your friends. Bye. Have a nice time.